Have you ever had that feeling like you're navigating life with some kind of invisible rule book you never actually signed up for?
Oh, definitely.
It's that sense that there are all these unspoken expectations,
Yeah.
right? Societal pressures, maybe even just that voice in your head, your inner critic,
Yeah, the inner critic.
telling you how you should be living, what you absolutely must believe, who you need to be. And often it just clashes with who you really feel you are deep down.
Mm-hmm.
That feeling of being, I don't know, constrained by rules you didn't make, rules that just lead to frustration, self-doubt. It feels pretty universal, doesn't it?
It absolutely is. That feeling you just described so well, it really hits on something deeply human, almost primal, you could say. Because from a certain viewpoint, a really profound one, our whole inner world, our thoughts, emotions, our sense of self, even a lot of our outer reality, it's all shaped by literally thousands of these agreements we've made without even knowing it.
Thousands. Wow.
Yeah. And the really eye-opening thing, the thing Don Miguel Ruiz really brings to light, is that so many of these agreements, the ones we just sort of absorb as kids, they become the very foundation for so much needless suffering later on. They trap us in these cycles we don't even see.
Well, today we are definitely embarking on what feels like a truly transformative deep dive. We're stepping right into the ancient wisdom packed into Don Miguel Ruiz's huge work, The Four Agreements, a practical guide to personal freedom. So get ready, because this isn't just, another self-help book. It feels more like a really powerful blueprint for spotting and then dismantling those invisible self-limiting rules holding you back.
That's exactly it. And for this deep dive, our source material isn't just the main book, The Four Agreements.
Okay.
We've also pulled in detailed summaries, some really insightful Q&A guides too. All of it's aimed at giving you, the listener, a really holistic, accessible understanding of this ancient Toltec wisdom. That's the foundation of Ruiz's work, you see.
Toltec wisdom. Got it.
Our mission here, our journey together today, is really to unpack these agreements. Each one is powerful, and we want to challenge those deep-seated beliefs, the ones that often feel like shackles.
Yeah.
We're aiming to light up a clear path, something actionable for you, so you can unlock real personal freedom, find genuine joy, and just live with authenticity, real integrity in every part of your life.
And I have to say, I'm genuinely excited about the potential here for real personal transformation.
Yeah.
It feels less like just taking in information and more like an invitation, maybe even an urgent call to sort of actively rewrite your own internal code.
That's a great way to put it, rewriting your code.
So yeah, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive in. Okay, so to really get the power of the Four Agreements, we absolutely have to start at the beginning, right? With the roots, the ancient Toltec tradition.
Exactly. Can't understand the agreements without understanding where they come from.
Now, when you first hear Toltec, maybe you picture, I don't know, a specific ancient civilization in Mexico. A nation, maybe?
Yeah, that's the common association. And they were people from southern Mexico. But Don Miguel Ruiz presents them as something, much more profound than just an ethnic group. He calls them women and men of knowledge.
Women and men of knowledge. I like
It's a key distinction because the Toltec, fundamentally, they were a society of scientists and artists. They gathered in this incredible city, Teotihuacan.
Teotihuacan.
Heard of it? Which its ancient name literally means the place where man becomes God.
Wow.
Their whole purpose there, their societal focus was to explore, to practice, and to carefully, meticulously conserve spiritual knowledge. Not just for themselves, mind you, but for humanity.
So not just philosophy, but like a real dedicated practice.
Exactly. It was a dedicated, almost scientific pursuit of wisdom and truth. But unfortunately, this deep knowledge, it had to be hidden for centuries.
Hidden? Why?
Well, a couple reasons, really. First, the European conquest brought this huge clash of cultures, different belief systems. It made openly practicing dangerous.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
And second, maybe even sadder, some apprentices within their own tradition started misusing the power, twisting the wisdom for personal gain. So the Naguals, the masters of this lineage, they had to basically shroud this ancestral wisdom, keep it safe, protect it until humanity was, ready for it again.
And that's where Don Miguel Ruiz comes in today.
Precisely. That's what makes his work so incredibly important now. He comes from this long, unbroken line of Naguals, specifically from the Eagle Knight lineage, a kind of order of spiritual warriors.
Eagle Knight? Okay.
So by openly sharing this ancient wisdom now, he's not just teaching, he's actually fulfilling ancient prophecies. Prophecies that said a time would come when this knowledge needed to return, when humanity would be desperate for these forgotten truths.
Yeah, that's That's heavy.
It is, and it's really important to get this. Toltec knowledge, the way Ruiz presents it, it isn't a religion. Not in the way we usually think of it.
Okay, not a religion.
No dogma, no specific deity to worship. It's more a way of life. Non-religious, focused squarely on achieving happiness and love, and it honors all spiritual paths, all traditions across the world.
So it's inclusive.
Very. It's about having a direct personal experience of the divine, within you, all around you. It's a profound way of being, not just believing a set of rules. It's a path to freedom that goes beyond any single creed.
Okay, so this Toltec wisdom, a key part of understanding it seems to be this story, this origin tale Ruiz shares, the smoky mirror. Sounds intriguing.
It really is. It starts with a medicine man, a seeker, like many of us today, just yearning for deeper knowledge, deeper understanding.
Relatable.
So one night he goes off to this sacred cave high up in the mountains. It's a new moon, pitch black, absolute silence. And there in that deep solitude, he has this vision, something life-altering.
Okay, I'm listening.
His realization, it was just breathtaking. In this vision, or maybe a dream, he first sees his own body sleeping there in the cave. Then he imagines himself floating out of the cave up into the night sky. And it's just ablaze with millions and millions of stars.
Wow.
And right at that moment, something clicks. Deep inside him, he hears his own voice declare, "I am made of light. I am made of stars.
I am made of light. I am made of stars." Powerful.
But then he looks back at the stars and the deeper truth hits him. The real revelation. It's not the stars that create the light. It's the light that creates the stars.
Whoa. Okay. Mind blown a little bit.
Right. He understands right then that every single thing in existence is made of this pure light. And the space between things, what we think of as empty.
Yeah.
Not empty at all. Filled with the same vibrant, living light. He just knew with absolute certainty that all existence is one single, unified, living being. A vast web of consciousness.
A living being.
And light itself, he realized, it's the messenger of life. It's alive, it's intelligent, it contains all information. This unified field, this one living being, that's what many traditions, including Ruiz, call God. Not some distant guy in the sky, but the very essence of everything.
Okay, that's a big concept. So how did he try to explain this?
Well, to try and grasp it, communicate it, he sort of separated what he saw into two ideas. He called the stars, the physical world, the forms we see, the tonal, and the light between the stars, the formless stuff, the potential, the consciousness underneath. He called that the nagual.
Nagual, tonal and nagual.
Exactly. And he realized it was life or intent, this basic creative force that creates the harmony between them, that gives rise to the space between the tonal and the nagual. Without that life force, that intent, neither the world we see nor the potential behind it could exist.
But everything needs that intent.
Everything. And from that, he figured, okay, absolutely everything we perceive, everything that is, it's just a manifestation of this single living being. At its core, everything is God. It's this incredibly expansive, totally inclusive view of creation.
Okay, so how does this relate back to us, to you, the listener?
Great question. Because this profound insight, if you really let it sink in, applies directly to you. Human perception, this Toltec view, it's just light perceiving light.
Light perceiving light.
Yeah. Matter, everything we see and touch, it's basically just a mirror reflecting this light, creating images. But the dream, the illusion, this collective reality we all agree on, it's like smoke. It obscures our true nature.
Or a sail.
Exactly, or veil of fog. And what we truly are, behind that smoke, beneath the layers of illusion and conditioning, we are pure love, pure light. That's our authentic self, our true divine essence.
Pure love, pure light. That's a beautiful thought.
It is. And the medicine man, once he truly got this, he was transformed. Just filled with peace, this incredible desire to share this revelation, this joy with everyone.
So he tried to tell people.
He did. But here's the twist, the kind of heartbreaking part. He tried to explain it, to tell them what he'd seen, what he felt, but they just couldn't grasp it.
They didn't get it.
No. They could see he had changed. They saw this, radiance in his eyes, this deep peace. But they couldn't see what he saw. And he understood then. He realized there was this wall of fog or smoke. That collective human dream, our shared conditioned view of reality standing between people's perceptions, like they were looking through a haze, unable to see the clear truth he'd witnessed.
So the dream was blocking them.
Exactly. So to always remember this insight, this understanding of the veil between us and reality, he named himself the smoky mirror.
The smoky mirror.
Yeah. It was his constant reminder that he was essentially looking at a reflection of himself and everyone he met. But the smoke, the illusion, the conditioned dream, It kept them from recognizing that shared divinity, that pure light in themselves and in each other.
Okay, let's really unpack this idea of the dream, because it's not just when we're asleep, is it? Ruiz says our minds are always dreaming, always interpreting, generating reality, awake or asleep.
Constantly, yeah. And the moment we're born, we don't enter some kind of blank slate. We're born into a pre-existing dream of the planet.
The dream of the planet.
Yeah, think of it as this huge, complex, collective societal dream. It's this vast tapestry woven from all our shared rules, beliefs, laws, religions, cultures, even the stories the media tells us. It's the reality humanity has sort of agreed upon.
Okay, the agreed upon reality.
And what's really potent is how this planetary dream instantly hooks our attention right from birth.
Hooks our attention. How?
Think about it. From the songs our parents sing, the lessons at school, stories from church or temple, the constant flood of messages from TV, books, now social media, we are constantly being taught what to believe, what's okay, what's not okay, good, bad, right, wrong.
We don't choose any of it initially.
Exactly. We don't consciously choose the really fundamental things, our language, our religion, our moral values, gender roles, even our own name. These were all agreements already decided, already in place. We just absorb them, accept them without even realizing it.
And this constant repetition.
That's the key. It instills this incredibly strong faith in the system, in this collective dream. So strong that it ends up controlling our entire individual dream of life. It's like powerful programming, almost inescapable.
And here's where it gets really, really interesting. This whole process, often totally unconscious, is what Ruiz calls domestication.
Domestication, like with an animal.
Exactly like training an animal. But instead of, treats and maybe a shock collar, it's a system of punishment and reward. As kids, right? When we follow the rules, conform to the dream, we get the good boy, good girl, a smile, a hug, acceptance.
The reward.
But when we don't, we get disapproval, criticism, maybe even punishment. This system relentlessly teaches us to pretend to be what we are not, to wear masks, hide our true feelings.
Why do we do it?
It's driven mainly by fear, deep down. Fear of punishment, sure, but also that powerful desire for attention, for reward. And fundamentally, at the core, that primal fear of rejection, of not belonging.
Fear of rejection, that's huge.
Totally. And this slow, kind of insidious process leads to this tragic loss of our wildness, our natural authenticity, our spontaneity, that unbridled joy kids have. We basically become a copy of the beliefs, the judgments, the expectations of our family, our society.
We just surrender to it.
We do, because as kids, we're just not strong enough, not aware enough to really rebel and win that fight.
And does this stop when we grow up?
That's the thing, it doesn't. It actually gets stronger in adulthood through what Ruiz calls self-domestication.
Self-domestication, we do it to ourselves.
Exactly, we internalize the whole system. We literally become our own judge and our own victim.
The judge and the victim inside our own heads.
Yeah, that book of law, that complex set of rules and beliefs we absorbed, it becomes the absolute ruler of our minds. The judge is constantly finding us guilty against these internal rules, these thousands of agreements we made.
Constantly judging.
And the victim. The victim just suffers the endless blame, the guilt, the shame that comes from that judgment. Think of it like a nonstop courtroom drama playing out in your head. Yeah. You're the prosecutor. You're the accused, caught in this relentless cycle of self-condemnation.
Wow. That sounds exhausting.
It is. And the really profound, honestly quite sobering consequence of this relentless self-domestication is that we don't just pay for our mistakes once. Ruiz says we pay thousands of times.
Thousands of times.
Our memory, our powerful human memory makes sure we endlessly relive those errors. We judge ourselves over and over for the same past actions, sometimes years later.
Oh, man, I think we all do that.
This relentless cycle of self-punishment, it creates our own personal dream of hell. A constant inner state of fear, anxiety, self-violence, injustice, just pervasive suffering. It's like an internal prison we build ourselves, brick by painful brick.
And just to be clear, when he says hell, he doesn't mean...
Right, not a literal place, not fire and brimstone.
It's a state of mind. a state of profound suffering. And it's actually present all around us. Often we just don't notice it in the daily grind. Your personal dream, because it's fueled by this inner suffering, can easily become a living nightmare, filled with all those fear-driven emotions, anger, jealousy, resentment, hate.
It sounds like chaos inside.
It is. This chaotic internal noise, this relentless chatter of conflicting voices, doubts, judgments in your mind. That's what the Toltecs call them, mitote, or sometimes mia.
Into M-I-T-O-T-E.
Yeah, it's like this dense, suffocating fog in your mind. It obscures your true free self. It stops you from seeing reality or even yourself clearly. It's just mental exhaustion, a constant internal battle.
So what's the bottom line here? What does this all really mean for us, for you, the listener?
Fundamentally, it means we develop this deep resistance to life itself. Ruiz even suggests the biggest human fear isn't actually death.
No. What is it then?
It's taking the risk to be alive and express what we really are.
Wow. Taking the risk to be alive.
Yeah. We spend so much energy building this unrealistic, often totally unattainable image of perfection. You know, the perfect body, perfect job, perfect relationship, perfect Instagram feed.
The highlight reel?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All in this desperate attempt to get acceptance. But ironically, what does it lead to? Profound self-rejection.
Because we can never live up to it.
Never.
Yeah.
And that leads to this gnawing feeling of being fake, inauthentic.
Yeah.
We get caught in these cycles of self-abuse. And sometimes, tragically, we even unconsciously use other people to abuse us because deep down, we feel like we deserve it.
That's dark.
It is. And connecting it all, the core insidious problem is that humans, through all this conditioning, we become addicted to suffering.
Addicted to suffering. That sounds extreme.
It's not conscious, obviously, but it's an ingrained pattern. The familiarity of our pain, maybe the attention it gets sometimes, the excuse it gives us for not taking risks, these subtle little secondary gains keep us stuck.
Secondary gains.
And this self-rejection, this inability to just accept and love ourselves as we are, it's a direct, tragic result of that impossible image of perfection we hold ourselves to. We're constantly measuring ourselves against this artificial, unachievable ideal and always finding ourselves lacking, which just feeds the whole cycle of suffering.
It's a relentless self-made trap.
Crucially, it's one that can be escaped.
Okay, so after painting that really vivid and, sometimes pretty daunting picture of our dream of hell, fortunately, Don Miguel Ruiz offers a really powerful antidote. He basically says by consciously identifying and then challenging these old fear-based agreements we've adopted without realizing, we can absolutely reclaim our personal power.
Reclaim our power. I like that.
Yeah. And then we can actively, intentionally, lovingly create a much more fulfilling, much more joyful, personal dream of heaven. It sounds like a huge goal, but he gives us the roadmap.
And what's truly fascinating and really empowering about this is the mechanism behind it, how it actually works.
Okay.
Ruiz explains that every single time you successfully break an old limiting agreement, one of those self-imposed rules or beliefs, the energy that you were previously investing in creating it and then constantly maintaining it, that energy actually returns to you.
Really? You get the energy back?
Imagine that. This surge of reclaimed personal power then directly empowers you to build a new life, a new personal dream, one that's genuinely based on love, truth, authenticity, instead of the fear and lies of that old collective dream.
So it's not just about stopping something negative. It's about gaining something positive.
Exactly. It's not just liberation. It's profound self-reclamation, taking back what was always yours to begin with.
Okay, so let's dive right into the first agreement. Ruiz says this is the most important one and often the most challenging to really live by. Be impeccable with your word.
The foundation.
He says quite simply, your word is pure magic, a powerful creative tool capable of both immense creation and devastating destruction.
Pure magic. Think about that.
Yeah, the sounds we make, the thoughts we form, the intention behind them, they hold that kind of power.
According to this wisdom, absolutely. He describes our words as a two-edged sword.
Two-edged sword, okay.
Their misuse, which he actually calls black magic, creates living hell for ourselves and for people around us.
Black magic. That sounds serious.
It refers to things like insidious gossip, harsh criticism, that negative self-talk we all do, even just casual, thoughtless remarks that plant seeds of fear and doubt in someone else.
Okay. And the other edge of the sword?
That's impeccability. Impeccability with your word. The word impeccable means without sin, or more accurately here, without going against yourself.
Without going against yourself.
Right. And using your word impeccably, that creates beauty, love, a personal heaven on earth. He calls this white magic. Our words are the direct expression of our creative power. It's a unique gift we have as humans. It's how we manifest our inner world.
Okay, can you give some examples of this black magic in action? Because that sounds pretty dramatic.
Sure. Think about gossip. He calls gossip the worst form of black magic, pure emotional poison. It spreads like a virus. Right?
Definitely seen that happen.
Starts with one comment, maybe seems harmless, but it quickly infects others, creates suspicion, judgment, division. Or think about criticism, whether it's aimed at others or maybe even more destructively, aimed at yourself through negative self-talk.
The inner critic again.
Always. He shows this really poignant story about a mother. Maybe she's tired, stressed, whatever. And she tells her young daughter that her singing voice is ugly.
Oh, no.
The daughter, she absorbs this spell, right, from someone she trusts completely. She believes it implicitly, makes an agreement with herself. I'm not worthy, my voice is ugly. And tragically, she never sings again.
Just from one comment?
Just one comment. She becomes shy, self-conscious, her creative expression just choked off, all because of a single thoughtless remark. Or maybe a friend makes a hurtful comment about how you look. If you accept it, take it in.
Yeah.
It can become this deeply ingrained, self-limiting agreement that poisons how you see yourself for years.
Wow. Okay. So how do we understand impeccability then in this Toltec way?
It's vital to get the precise meaning, without sin. But sin here isn't about breaking some divine law. It's anything you do or think or believe that goes against yourself.
Against yourself.
Yeah. And self-rejection, in this view, is the biggest sin of all.
Self-rejection is the biggest sin. Okay.
So being impeccable with your word, it means taking radical responsibility for your actions, your thoughts, your speech, without falling into judging yourself or blaming yourself. It's about aligning your words spoken and unspoken with truth, with love, with your highest self. It's really a profound act of self-honor.
Okay, so practically, what does that look like day to day?
Well, practically, it means if you use harsh words, judgmental words, critical words towards someone else, you're ultimately using them against yourself too.
How so?
That negativity, that emotional poison, it creates this kind of resonance. It invites similar negativity back into your own life. It's like an energetic boomerang.
Yeah, boomerang effects.
But conversely, if you genuinely work on self-love, if you cherish and respect yourself, that love just naturally, automatically extends to how you interact with others. You foster positive connections, build trust, create harmony, instead of just perpetuating conflict and emotional toxicity.
So it starts with self-love.
It really does. Ultimately, using your word impeccably means consciously choosing to direct your energy towards truth and love for yourself and for everyone you meet. This agreement, practicing it, acts like a powerful cleanser. It removes emotional poison, clears out the clutter of that mitote from your mind.
Clears the mental fog.
Exactly. And it also gives you this vital immunity, almost impenetrable immunity from the negative spells other people might try to cast on you.
Immunity. How?
Because when your mind isn't fertile ground for that black magic, when you stop giving power to other people's judgments or negativity, their poison just can't take root in you. It kind of slides right off, leaves you unharmed.
Wow. So the ultimate measure of success with this agreement.
It's profound. The impeccability of your word is directly proportional to your level of self-love.
Directly proportional.
It's a mirror. It reflects your inner state.
Yeah.
If you want to know how much you truly love yourself, listen to your inner dialogue. Listen to how you speak to others. Notice if you gossip. The two are just completely linked.
Okay, that makes sense. And it feels like it flows right into the second agreement.
Yeah.
Don't take anything personally.
It does. They're very connected.
This is about really internalizing that whatever other people say or do, their opinions, their actions, whatever, it's almost always, maybe even exclusively, a reflection of their reality, their beliefs, their fears, their own experiences.
Exactly. It is profoundly not about your inherent worth or who you truly are.
That's a tough one sometimes, though.
Oh, absolutely. It's crucial for our freedom, though. Ruiz actually calls personal importance the ultimate expression of selfishness.
Personal importance. Selfishness. How?
It's that ego-driven delusion where we mistakenly think everything revolves around me, that we're the center of everyone else's universe, that every little comment or action is somehow aimed at us.
When really,
people are projecting their own internal world, their own beliefs, their own unhealed wounds, their own agreements onto others, their opinions, their actions, their emotional garbage, as Ruiz calls it.
Emotional garbage.
Yeah, it all comes from their unique domestication, their personal dream, their internal programming. It truly has nothing to do with you or your true self.
Okay, let's make that more concrete. Give me an example.
Right. Imagine someone says casually, wow, you look really tired today. Or maybe something harsher like, that outfit makes you look kind of frumpy.
Ouch. Okay.
If you take that comment personally, it's because you've let their external judgment pierce your internal sense of self-worth.
Right. It hits a nerve.
Exactly. But it's not actually about you looking tired or frumpy. It's about their feelings, their beliefs about appearance, their opinions, which they might just be projecting onto you for their own reasons. If you take it personally, you basically ingest their emotional garbage. You make it your own poison.
You drink their poison.
Yeah. You let their external judgment trigger your internal judge, and that sets off this cascade of self-criticism, maybe defensiveness, maybe it ruins your whole day.
Okay, so what's the benefit then of really mastering this, not taking things personally?
The benefit is huge. It's profound liberation. It grants you complete immunity to emotional poison.
Immunity again, like with the first agreement.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It means you can literally be surrounded by negativity, by people living in their own personal hell, maybe complaining, judging, gossiping, and you can remain completely untouched by it.
Untouched.
Yeah. This immunity stops you from feeling offended. It stops you from defensively reacting. And because of that, it stops you from creating all these unnecessary conflicts that just lead to more suffering for everyone involved. You become strong, resilient, unfazed by the careless comments or unconscious actions or emotional outbursts of others.
Their drama stays theirs.
Their drama stays theirs, and you stay peaceful.
Okay, but here's where it gets really challenging for me. Ruiz makes this extreme point. He says, even if someone were to insult you directly, like right to your face, or even physically harm you, it's still, in a deeper sense, nothing personal.
That's the really hard edge of this agreement.
How can that be nothing personal? It feels intensely personal if someone attacks you.
It does feel that way. But his point is that it stems entirely from their projections, their internal world of fear and pain, their personal dream. It doesn't reflect anything about your true, pure self or your inherent worthiness.
But it's still happening to you.
Of course. And it requires action, setting boundaries, ensuring safety. But the motivation behind their action, the source of their behavior, originates within them from their own conditioning and suffering. It's an incredibly difficult concept to internalize, especially when we feel genuinely wronged. It takes a huge shift in perspective to really see that the abuse comes from their unhealed wounds, not because you somehow deserve it.
Okay. That's a lot to process.
Yeah.
So if other people's words aren't really about us, what about our own inner voices?
Great point. Ruiz stresses that your own self-perceptions, those voices in your head, the inner judge and victim we talked about, they aren't always true either.
Just because I think it doesn't make it true.
Exactly. Just because you think something negative about yourself doesn't make it a fact. You have a profound choice here. You can choose to believe those often critical inner voices, or you can choose to blindly accept the external opinions of others. Or true freedom, he suggests, comes from learning to trust yourself, to listen to your own inner truth, your intuition, rather than constantly seeking validation from outside or living in fear of judgment. Ultimately, you're only responsible for yourself, your intentions, your actions, not for how other people perceive them or react to them.
Okay, moving on. The third agreement. Don't make assumptions. This feels like a big one, too. It seems like such a common human thing, doesn't it?
Oh, incredibly pervasive. We make assumptions about everything.
Like why someone didn't call back, what that look from a colleague meant, what our partner is really thinking.
All the time. And the crucial part is, we then believe our assumptions are the absolute truth, undeniable fact.
Yeah, we do.
And Ruiz points out this is probably the main source of miscommunication, pointless arguments, and just so much avoidable emotional drama in our lives.
Misunderstandings based on nothing real.
Exactly. Assumptions, in Ruiz's view, they're prolific creators of emotional poison. They often fuel gossip, that virus of the mind we talked about with the first agreement.
Right, the gossip connection.
That mitote, that chaotic noise in our minds, it causes us to misinterpret things constantly. We end up seeing and hearing only what fits with our existing beliefs, our fears, our internal rulebook.
We filter reality.
Totally. And this leads us to invent these elaborate fantasies, filling in the blanks with our own stories. He gives the example of, like, a simple, friendly smile from a stranger.
Yeah.
And in our head, that can bloom into a whole imagined relationship, a marriage, kids, a whole life together, all based on absolutely zero factual information, just the pure assumption.
Okay, that's maybe an extreme example, but I see the point. What are the real-world consequences of living in that kind of fantasy land?
Disappointment, for one. Anger, when reality doesn't match our assumptions. Wasted emotional energy. And just a profound disconnect from what's actually happening.
Okay, so what about in our close relationships? This must play out there all the time.
Constantly. We frequently assume that others, especially the people closest to us, somehow magically know what we want, what we need, how we feel.
Right, that classic, well, if they really loved me, they'd just know.
Exactly. That's a massive assumption trap. Why do we do it? Well, we make assumptions to feel safe sometimes, to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty. We fill in the gaps in our understanding. And often, honestly, it's because we lack the courage to just ask clear, direct questions.
It feels easier to invent a story.
Sometimes, yeah. We'd rather invent a story that seems plausible to us than face the perceived risk of vulnerability or maybe rejection that feels like it comes with asking directly.
Okay, so according to Ruiz, what's the biggest assumption we tend to make?
The biggest one, he says, is the assumption that everyone else sees the world exactly as we do.
That they think like us, feel like us.
Yeah, that they think, feel, judge, even experience suffering and abuse in the exact same way we do. This fundamental misunderstanding leads to this pervasive fear of being ourselves around other people.
Why fear?
Because we anticipate being judged or victimized or blamed by them in the same way our internal judge and victim judge and blame us.
So we project our inner world onto them.
Exactly. It means we often end up rejecting ourselves before anyone else even gets a chance to. It creates huge internal conflict, huge suffering, because we're constantly fighting these phantoms that we've created in our own minds.
Okay, so what's the fix? It sounds simple, but probably isn't easy.
The direct solution is simple in concept, yeah. Cultivating the courage to ask questions and to communicate with absolute crystal clarity.
Just ask.
Just ask. Don't assume others know your expectations, your desires, your boundaries. Spell it out. And just as importantly, don't assume your love can magically change someone else or that they should change just for you.
Oof, that's a tough one in relationships.
It is. If you love someone exactly as they are, fantastic. If not, you have to be willing to accept that or find the courage to say goodbye. This kind of directness, it might feel awkward or even harsh at first.
Yeah, it could.
But it actually clarifies everything. It fosters real understanding, and ultimately it leads to much greater authenticity and peace in your relationships.
So stop making assumptions. Communicate clearly.
When you consciously stop making assumptions, your communication just transforms. It becomes clean, clear, free of all that emotional poison. And this profoundly impacts all your relationships, family, friends, colleagues, partners. It leads to more authentic connections, way less conflict, and just this pervasive sense of greater peace.
But like the others, it takes practice.
Oh, yeah. This agreement, like all of them, isn't a quick fix. It needs consistent, diligent practice, repetition. Because we've been making assumptions our entire lives, it's a deeply ingrained habit. But the rewards, the clarity, the harmony it brings, totally worth the effort. Immense rewards.
All right, now for the fourth agreement, which feels kind of foundational. Always do your best.
This one ties them all together.
It's presented not just as another rule, but as the master agreement that actually empowers the other three, helps them become deep, effortless habits. It means simply doing your best, no more, no less, in every single situation, every action, every word.
And what's absolutely critical to understand here, right off the bat, is that your best isn't some static thing. It's not a fixed level you have to hit every day.
It changes.
Totally. It inherently fluctuates, dramatically sometimes, based on your health, your energy level right now, your mood, what's going on around you.
Okay, that makes sense. My best on Monday morning is different from Friday night.
Exactly. Your best when you're refreshed and energetic is vastly different from your best when you're exhausted or sick or dealing with some major stress. The key here, the really profound importance, is balance.
Balance. How so?
Don't overdo it. Don't push yourself way beyond your capacity because that just leads to burnout, depletion, and eventually you start resenting it, punishing yourself.
Right. Been there.
But also, don't underdo it. Don't slack off when you genuinely could give more because that leads to frustration, guilt, regret later on.
Okay, so find the sweet spot.
Find the sweet spot for this moment. It's about being fully present, being sincere, and giving your authentic, optimal effort right now, whatever that looks like.
Ruiz shares this really insightful story about a Buddhist monk, right? trying to reach enlightenment.
Yeah, the monk asks his master, if I meditate 8 hours a day, will I reach enlightenment faster than if I meditate 4 hours?
And the master says,
The master says it might actually take longer with 8 hours.
longer? How is that possible?
Paradoxically, if that intense 8-hour meditation sacrifices joy, sacrifices the enjoyment of life, if it becomes this rigid, suffering-based chore, it actually misses the whole point,
Which is
to live fully. The essence of doing your best isn't about extreme sacrifice or gritting your teeth through suffering. It's about living, being happy, loving intensely and productively, but from a place of genuine joy, presence, internal alignment. It's finding that place where your effort feels peaceful, not forced.
effort meeting peace. I like that. Okay, so what's the internal benefit of really trying to live this way, always doing your best?
The huge internal benefit is this. When you honestly, genuinely give your best in any situation, whatever that best is at that moment, there's simply no room left for your inner judge to criticize you.
No room for the judge.
None. There's no should have, no could have. You did your best. Period. You start taking action not just to get rewards or avoid punishment, but because you genuinely love the process. You love the act of living, of contributing.
It sounds freeing.
It is. This commitment fosters deep self-acceptance, and it gives you these invaluable chances to learn from mistakes because you're not beating yourself up. You just see, okay, that was my best then. Maybe my best can be different next time. You continuously improve what your best looks like without that heavy burden of regret, guilt, or blame. You become like a perpetual student of yourself, always growing.
And here's the really captivating part, how it connects everything. You said the first 3 agreements, impeccable word, don't take things personally, don't make assumptions. They only really work if you're also committed to this one, to always doing your best.
Exactly. They only truly take root and become transformative habits if you're applying this 4th agreement consistently. Look, you won't achieve perfection overnight. Nobody does.
Definitely not.
Your old habits, those deep-seated agreements from domestication, they're strong, they're tenacious, they've had years, decades maybe to solidify.
Yeah, stubborn.
But consistent, heartfelt effort, doing your best each day, even if your best feels small sometimes, gradually, almost imperceptibly at first, weakens those old detrimental habits. You'll slip up, you'll forget, you'll make assumptions again, you'll take something personally.
It's inevitable.
It is. But if you always come back to doing your best in the next moment, those old patterns just become less frequent, less powerful. And eventually, they start to fade, replaced by these new, liberating habits based on the agreements.
So it's the consistent effort that matters.
Ultimately, yes. Repetition is the absolute key to mastery here. Consistent action, doing your best over and over and over, transforms you. It transforms you from what Ruiz calls a black magician, someone who unconsciously misuses their personal power and creates suffering, creates their own hell,
Right.
into a white magician. A white magician is someone who consciously uses their power, their word, their actions to create love, beauty, truth, to create their personal heaven for themselves and for others.
From black magician to white magician.
The path, according to the Toltec wisdom, leads to mastering your intent, mastering your spirit, mastering love, gratitude, mastering life itself. It's this powerful, ongoing journey towards complete personal freedom, where you become the conscious creator of your own dream.
Okay, so we've explored the agreements, this toolkit for changing our dream. But let's step back and ask a really fundamental, maybe even uncomfortable question that Don Miguel Ruiz goes into. Are we, as adults living today, truly free?
The big question.
Because we often point fingers, don't we? Blame the government, blame our parents, our boss, society's rules, maybe even fate or God.
Always looking outside.
But Ruiz's take is really challenging. He says, ultimately, we stop ourselves, the chains holding us back. In the end, they're forged inside us.
We are our own jailers, in a sense.
So that immediately makes me wonder, what does true freedom even look like then? If our current state often isn't it?
Right, and Ruiz offers this incredibly powerful, really relatable contrast. He says, just observe a young child, someone aged, say, 2 to 4 years old.
Okay, a toddler.
That child, he argues, is the perfect example of a free human. They are wild, playful, completely present in the moment. They're unafraid to express exactly how they feel, joy, anger, sadness, whatever. They love unconditionally.
Yeah, they really do. No filters.
No filters. They don't worry about yesterday. They don't stress about tomorrow. They live entirely right here, right now. Just this bubbling fountain of creativity and curiosity. This state, he suggests, is actually our normal human tendency.
Our natural state is to be free like that.
To enjoy life, explore, be happy, love with an open heart.
Yes. So if that's our natural state, what on earth happens to it? Where does it go?
Well, that goes back to domestication. Ruiz explained how that whole system, the book of law, the relentless judge, the suffering victim, that tyrannical internal structure we build, it conspires to steal that innate freedom.
Steals it.
Yeah. Society, through parents, schools, culture, it subtly forces us to become responsible, serious, to fit into these predefined boxes. And it gradually extinguishes that childlike joy, that spontaneity, our unique spark. We become like actors, always playing a role, sticking to a script someone else wrote, instead of just living authentically, present in the moment.
The wildness gets tamed.
It gets tamed, yeah, but at a huge cost to our spirit.
And the really startling thing is, most people don't even realize they're not free.
That's a crucial insight. Most people are completely unaware. They live inside these self-made limits, these internal prisons, without ever realizing they even have a choice or that they're imprisoned at all.
They just think this is how life is.
Exactly, which is why awareness is the first step, always, to reclaiming that lost freedom. You have to first recognize the fog, the métaux in your own mind, that chaotic, draining inner noise. You have to courageously look at your emotional wounds, the agreements causing you pain. That awareness is absolutely essential to even begin healing, to begin transforming your personal dream from a nightmare back into something joyful.
Can't fix what you can't see.
Precisely.
Okay, to make this internal struggle even clearer, give it more shape, Don Miguel Ruiz uses this really powerful, almost shocking metaphor. He compares the judge, the victim, our whole fear-based belief system, to a parasite. A parasite that invades and controls the human mind.
It's a stark metaphor, but very effective.
A parasite? What does he mean by that?
Well, this parasite, as he defines it, isn't like a physical worm or something. It's a living, energetic construct made of psychic or emotional energy. And it feeds exclusively, insatiably on negative fear-based emotions.
What kind of emotions?
Anger, hate, envy, sadness, resentment, betrayal. All forms of self-pity, self-abuse. That's its food source.
So it feeds on our suffering.
Exactly. It relentlessly sucks our mental and emotional energy, giving nothing beneficial back. It just gradually weakens its host, us, the human being. This parasite, he says, effectively controls our personal dream, steering it towards suffering, towards its food source. And it literally lives its life through our physical body, manipulating our emotions, our actions, to keep itself alive, keeping us in fear to ensure its own survival.
Wow. It lives its life through us. So how does this change how we should view ourselves or maybe others who seem stuck in negativity?
Well, from this Toltec perspective, humans who are domesticated, who are ruled by this internal system, by the judge, the victim, and the parasite they feed, are basically considered sick.
Sick. Like mentally ill.
Not necessarily in a clinical diagnostic sense, but yes, sick with a disease of the mind. It's not seen as a moral failing, but as a condition.
Yeah.
And the symptoms of this sickness are precisely those emotions that make us suffer, react, lash out, feel trapped and unhappy. It reframes suffering not as inevitable, but as a condition that can actually be healed.
Okay. This is a different way to look at it. Not judging, but seeing it as a sickness.
And this understanding, stark as it is, presents us with a very clear, very profound choice.
Which is?
You can either passively surrender to this mind parasite, just keep living the dream of suffering it imposes, let it dictate your thoughts and actions,
Yeah.
or you can rebel. You can declare war for our independence, a spiritual war waged entirely inside your own mind to reclaim control of your own thoughts, your own brain, your own life.
A war for independence inside your head.
It's a battle to finally live your life, not the parasite's programmed existence. The ancient Toltec masters, they were revered as spiritual warriors for exactly this reason. They fought this ultimate battle for self-liberation, and they won.
Okay, so if we're declaring this spiritual war for our independence, how do we actually fight it? How do we win? Don Miguel Ruiz, like a spiritual general, outlines 3 main strategies for liberating ourselves from this mind parasite, for getting our freedom back. Each one sounds pretty intense.
There are distinct paths, yeah, each with its own challenges.
Okay, what's the first one?
The first strategy is attack head by head.
Attack head by head.
Yeah. Imagine the parasite isn't just one thing, but like a hydra, a monster with 1,000 heads. Each head represents one of your deep fears, one of your self-limiting beliefs, one of those old fear-based agreements.
Okay, so 1,000 fears.
So this approach means you confront and face each fear individually, one by one. It's slow, it's deliberate, often pretty terrifying, honestly.
Not bad.
But it's incredibly effective. Say you have a fear of rejection. You actively put yourself in situations where rejection is possible, maybe asking someone out, applying for a job you think is a long shot. Each time you face a fear, each head you manage to cut off, you gain this tangible boost in personal power, in freedom. You gradually weaken the parasite's overall control.
Like chipping away at a huge wall, little by little.
Exactly, slowly revealing the light behind it.
Okay, what's strategy number 2?
The second is starvation.
Starve the parasite.
Exactly. You deliberately cut off its food supply. How? By controlling your emotions. By steadfastly refusing to fuel those fear-based feelings, the anger, the jealousy, the hate, the self-pity, the resentment, the anxiety.
Stop feeling them. That sounds impossible.
It's not about not feeling them initially. It's about not feeding them. It's easier said than done, for sure, because that internal judge and victim, they are masters at manipulating us into feeding the parasite. They'll whisper justifications for your anger, give you reasons for your self-pity.
Oh, yeah. I have a right to be angry.
Totally. But with growing awareness, you can learn to observe these emotions when they arise without automatically reacting, without engaging, without giving them your energy. It's about recognizing the pattern, consciously disengaging, choosing not to indulge the drama.
So you notice the anger, but don't act on it. Don't dwell on it.
Right. You don't suppress it necessarily, but you don't feed it either. You redirect your attention. Consciously choose to starve the negativity until it just withers away, loses its power over you.
Okay. Starvation. That sounds like it takes a lot of discipline.
It does. And then there's the third strategy, the most radical, and in some ways the most direct.
What is it?
The initiation of the dead.
Initiation of the dead. That sounds ominous.
It's symbolic, not physical death, obviously. It's a profound internal transformation that purges the parasite completely, instantly, from your mind.
Instantly. How?
It's about completely letting go of everything you thought you were, your identity that was built by domestication, your name, your history, your fears, your judgments, all of it. It's where the old dream, the one controlled by the parasite, just dies. Forever.
Wow, a total reset.
A total reset. This path is much faster than the other two, offers instant liberation, but it's also described as the most difficult. It requires immense courage to face this symbolic angel of death, the complete dissolution of your ego-driven self.
That sounds terrifying.
It's terrifying, yeah, but ultimately incredibly liberating. It's this act of complete surrender. You lose all attachment to the past, which allows for this complete resurrection into your authentic, true self. Totally free from all those fear-based agreements.
Okay, those are some powerful strategies. But thinking about the healing process, dealing with all the wounds we've accumulated over a lifetime of domestication.
Yeah.
How does that deeper transformation happen?
Right. Ruiz explains that the dream of the first attention, that huge, mostly unconscious network of agreements we made as kids.
The domestication dream.
Exactly. That dream can be consciously, intentionally, deliberately replaced by the dream of the second attention.
Dream of the second attention.
Yeah. This is where you make a conscious, powerful choice to reprogram your own mind, to forge new, liberating beliefs based on the four agreements, to actively create your personal heaven. But this profound shift, it requires developing that keen, unwavering awareness of your existing self-limiting, fear-based agreements, the ones keeping you unhappy, keeping you bound.
Awareness again. It always comes back to that.
Always. And if we connect this to the deeper healing, Ruiz identifies forgiveness as the single most potent remedy, the cure, really, for healing our deep emotional wounds and truly reclaiming our power.
Forgiveness.
Yeah.
Okay, forgiving who?
Everyone you perceive to have wronged you. But, and this is crucial, not for their sake, he's very clear about this, it's entirely for your own liberation, for your own peace.
So forgiving parents, siblings, friends, ex-partners.
Yes, even in a profound sense, forgiving God or the universe for the way things are, for the suffering you've experienced or witnessed. It's about letting go of the resentment, letting go of the desire for justice or revenge, letting go of the need to be right. All that stuff keeps you trapped in the past, just endlessly reliving the pain. Forgiveness is the release. For you.
Letting go for your own sake. That's a powerful reframe.
And this whole process, it ultimately leads to the most important forgiveness of all, Self-forgiveness.
Forgiving yourself.
When you can genuinely, truly forgive yourself for all your perceived mistakes, for all the ways you feel you've fallen short, that brings a definitive end to that pervasive self-rejection we talked about.
The biggest sin.
Exactly. Self-acceptance then just blossoms. This unconditional love for who you are, flaws and all. And as Ruiz puts it so beautifully, self-love will grow so strong that you will finally accept yourself just the way you are.
Wow.
That pivotal moment, that profound internal acceptance, that marks the true birth of the free human, a person who's no longer chained by the judge, no longer suffering as the victim, but just living in complete peace and authenticity.
So how do you know? How do you know if you've really forgiven someone or yourself? Is there a test?
He gives a very clear, very powerful benchmark. You know you've truly forgiven when you can recall the memory or even encounter the person or situation that once caused you so much pain, and you can do it without any lingering emotional reaction.
No sting, no anger.
No sting, no pain, no blame, no resentment. If the memory no longer hurts when you touch it, you've truly forgiven. And in this whole process, the truth, that stark, honest recognition of your own agreements, your own role, their impact, it acts like a surgeon's scalpel.
A scalpel.
Yeah. It surgically opens up those old wounds that have been hidden, maybe festering, under layers of lies, under our denial system. It opens them up to the light, allows for complete, genuine healing. This process, facing the truth, it can be incredibly painful at first. Truth often is. But it's absolutely essential for liberation, for lasting peace. Hashtag tag outro.
Wow. Okay, this has been an incredibly deep dive, hasn't it, into the really profound ancient wisdom in Don Miguel Ruiz's The Four Agreements.
It really covers so much ground.
Yeah, from understanding those invisible chains of domestication, that insidious grip of the internal parasite of the mind, to really actively embracing the immense creative power in our word, learning not to take anything personally, consciously avoiding those assumptions that just create drama, and always doing our absolute best. We've definitely explored a truly transformative path here towards personal freedom, happiness, just authentic living.
Indeed. It really boils down to nothing less than shifting your entire reality, doesn't it? Your inner world, your outer experience, shifting from what can often feel like that societal dream of hell to intentionally, consciously creating your very own personal dream of heaven. And that's a powerful, courageous, deeply personal choice that's available to you, the listener, right now, in this moment.
It's about reconnecting, isn't it? With that innate wildness, that boundless joy, that unconditional love we were actually born with.
Exactly. And actively dismantling that parasite of the mind that tries to control our power and dictate our story.
The Toltec message shared through these four agreements, they seem so simple on the surface, but they're incredibly profound. It really feels like it's about empowering every one of us to become dream masters, to become spiritual warriors in our own lives.
Living with impeccable integrity, deep self-love, and just this unwavering commitment to truth.
It's a continuous journey, it sounds like. Self-acceptance, growth, actively freeing ourselves from all those lies and limiting agreements we just unconsciously picked up along the way.
It is, and that really raises an important question for you, the listener, to maybe ponder as we finish up, something that gets right to the core of this wisdom. If happiness and suffering are both ultimately choices, and if you possess this inherent, maybe still untapped, power to create your own dream, what kind of dream will you choose to live today and every day from now on?
What dream will you choose?
How will you begin, maybe starting right now in this very moment, to nurture those seeds, the seeds of love, of truth, of impeccability right there in your own mind? The power, as Ruiz emphasizes again and again, is truly yours.